ready to go. Okay. Getting some distortion from the background there, so I'm going to turn that off as well. So, welcome to the Hidden Ref, and sorry for those teething problems that always seem to occur at the start of these things. I just wanted to say hello and welcome to the Hidden Ref Awards, and thank you for joining us. This is an incredibly exciting moment for us. So thank you for helping us celebrate all research outputs and everyone involved in their creation. So we started the Hidden Ref because we wanted to showcase the diversity of work that is conducted within research and the huge range of people who we rely on to conduct that work. We have for too long relied on a narrow range of metrics to measure what success means in research. So we wanted to run a competition that would broaden our understanding of what and who is important. Now, this is an important goal, but one that's very hard to achieve because of the sheer difficulty of understanding how to compare radically different outputs and the work of radically different people. But regardless of that difficulty, we need a better system. We chose an iterative approach, trying out ideas, refining them as we progressed, and publishing our results so that everyone can benefit from our discoveries. This approach will continue in the future, and as we run more Hidden Ref competitions, and hopefully we'll be meeting in person for those award ceremonies. I'll soon be handing over to Patricia Hertrich and James Baker, who will tell you more about the competition. But first, I'd like to say a few thank yous to the people who have helped to make it a success. And to do that, I shall have to share screen again, so I shall do that quickly. So we are far from alone in wanting to broaden academic recognition, and I'm happy to say that we were very quickly joined by a large number of supporters who also want to see a similar change. Too many, in fact, to name them all at this time, but please do visit the link on that slide to learn more about them. I would like to say a huge thank you to them for helping refine our ideas and for their invaluable help in getting the message out to their communities. Thanks also to our sponsors, the Software Sustainability Institute and the Southampton Research Software Group, who allowed us to run this ceremony and to send out certificates to everybody and the awards to the winners. Those will be in the post soon. Of course, the competition simply would not have occurred without the hard work and dedication of our committee. 11 people from 9 organizations, all of whom volunteered their time because they share a passion for broadening recognition. Importantly, they understand that creating a more equitable system will not only benefit the people involved in research, but will also create an environment which will advance our ability to conduct research. At the end of the ceremony, I'll say a few more words about our plans for the future, but for now, that's enough from me, and I would like to hand over to James to tell you a bit more about the competition.
Thank you, Simon, and I should say that was Simon Hetrick, who didn't introduce himself, but I will. So Simon really kicked off this Hidden Ref idea, but our kind of journey from an idea to an award ceremony started really in earnest, I guess, in February 2020 with the launch of the competition. Today, roughly a year and a half later, we recognise hidden work judged across 5 different panels. The panels that we're going to talk about and awards later on during this ceremony are grouped by output type rather than by subject area, the latter of which is the approach used by the Ref. 2 panels were, however, organised using Ref 2021 output categories, in particular those categories that we know to be underrepresented in Ref submissions. And these are the Communicative Outputs panel, which has categories from website content to visual media, and the Applications of Research panel, which cover things like software, devices, and datasets. We then have 3 panels that are grouped by categories that were suggested to us by the community. And this was part of a crowdsourcing exercise conducted during the middle third of 2020. These are the Practices panel, which covers things like training, access to facilities, and standards. The Context panel, which includes citizen science and community building. And last but not least, the Hidden Role panel, comprised of a single category recognizing the wide range of professional roles that contribute to research. Now, the deadline for submissions to the Hidden Ref closed in May. And after a few worries that nobody would respond, a flood soon arrived around the deadline, and we were humbled to receive around 120 submissions in the end. Since then, we've been busy forming and running assessment panels. And across these panels, our wonderful panelists assessed each submission using really two broad principles. The first was that the Hidden Ref should include everyone and everything and leave nothing behind. And this means really thinking then about visibility. The second principle is really that the Hidden Ref should assess contributions made across the diversity, richness and variety of UK research. And this meant thinking about significance. Now, if you put those two things together, effectively then the panels were looking for work that both had kind of broad significance and lacked visibility, that did things, but kind of did them quietly, that was impactful, but that was under-recognized. As you can probably imagine then, this was not an easy task. And our wonderful panelists, who I think Simon's going to put on the screen now, gamely plugged away, sharing with the committee a desire to recognize all research outputs and every role that makes research possible. So we thank them. And we also thank you, those of you who submitted their work to the Hidden Ref, or indeed the work of a colleague to the Hidden Ref. Because even if you don't win today, you have contributed to the production of a valuable evidence-based campaign for a broader recognition of work and the people who are vital to research. So that's the kind of preliminaries done with a kind of short tale of how we got here and what we were up to. And now we really move on to the awards, starting with the Communicative Outputs panel, which is chaired by Tony Roach from Emerald Publishing, and possibly being introduced by our committee colleague Simon Kerridge, depending on his internet connection. So I'll hand over to either Simon or to Tony.
Well, yes, I'm actually here, but I'm a bit worried. Did someone say hidden breath? Yeah, okay, sorry, it had to be done. So yeah, just a very quick introduction from me. I was the panel advisor for the Communicative Outputs. It's really quite exciting. It's the first category for the winners to be announced, first category ever. But the honour, of course, goes to Tony Roche, who was the chair of the panel. He's the Publishing and Strategic Relations Director at Emerald Publishing. So that's enough for me. Tony, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Simon, and congratulations to you and to the organising committee for bringing the Hidden Ref from inception to today's celebration. I and Emerald are absolutely delighted to be one of your many supporters. So I'd like to pass sincere thanks first up to my fellow panel members, Gilbert, Lawrence and Catherine, for their deliberations on the entries to the Communicative Outputs panel. So on to the two commended entries and to our winner. The first commended entry is Parables of Care, submitted by Ernesto Priego of City University of London. The second commended entry is Digital Holocaust, submitted by Victoria Walden at the University of Sussex. Cue applause. And the winner of the Hidden Ref's Communicative Outputs category is the Extreme Imagination exhibition by Fiona McPherson of the University of Glasgow. Many congratulations, Fiona. I'm delighted, I think, to hand over to you now to say a few words about your work and about why you put forward your entry to the Hidden Ref. And I believe Fiona is on the call. I hope so.
She was certainly intending to appear, so let's just see if she's there. You may need to unmute, Fiona. No, it appears as though she has not joined us. So I wonder maybe if we could just we could bring her in later on and possibly get back to the run of the show and over to James.
I think it's me next. So big congratulations to our first winner. And we will now move on to the next award, which is for applications of research, a panel that was chaired by Dr. Daniela Duca from Sage Ocean, and which is introduced by our colleague from the committee, Neil Shuhong from the Software Sustainability Institute. Neil, take it away, please.
Thanks, Patricia. Unfortunately, as Patricia said, the chair of the Applications of Research panel, Daniela, is unable to join us today, but she's asked me to read out a short statement on her behalf and then to introduce the winners. So here's the statement from Daniela. It was an honor to chair this Hidden Ref panel along with my fellow panelists. These amazing submissions of software, datasets, devices and products demonstrated innovation, passion and enthusiasm for making research accessible. It was a really tough decision, but in the end, we felt the submissions we'd chosen are exemplars of what the Hidden Ref celebrates. And as the panel advisor who was helping facilitate this panel, I was really personally very impressed with all of the submissions that came in. However, there has to be some winners, and before I announce these winners, I just wanted to make a mention of one particular entry which the panel wanted to give a special mention of, noting that it is the type of data that you cannot collect again, but can be reused almost any time, and an impactful demonstration of true co-production. So the Applications of Research panel are delighted to highly commend Growing Up on the Streets, a longitudinal qualitative data set co-produced with street children and youth in 3 African cities. Could we give them a virtual round of applause, please? Okay, and now on to the winners. Our panel could not split the 2 winners for this category. The first is a service that helps provide credit to early career researchers and enables impactful additional research by curating doctoral research to create a searchable and reusable resource accessible worldwide. The second is a community endeavor encompassing over 500 volunteers and with 29,000 users a month, which is an exemplar in its open and holistic approach, but deserves better visibility given the reach of their work, particularly to low to middle income countries. The winners of the Hidden Ref Applications of Research category are the Ethos eThesis service from the British Library, and the Guide to Pharmacology database. And I'd like to invite each of the winners to say a few words, starting with Sarah Gould from the British Library, the manager of Ethos. Sarah, congratulations.
Hi, this is such a surprise. Delighted to be here this afternoon. Absolutely fantastic. Ethos, in many ways, is such a simple concept and such a simple database. I just checked before I came on the call the exact number of thesis records that Ethos currently holds. And as of today, there are 584,875 records for UK doctoral theses. It's not quite 100% coverage of every single UK doctoral thesis ever produced. So if you ever look in there and you don't find the one particular thesis you're looking for, please tell us, because we're always trying to fill those little gaps. But the number of UK PhD theses is incredible, and the range of research, the languages that people produce their doctoral theses in, the incredible research that's held within those 500,000 theses is unbelievably valuable. Much of the research is never published anywhere else. You might write 1 or 2 multiple articles from the thesis. You might write your monograph in due course, but there is so much untapped value withheld within those doctoral theses. There's some incredible figures too. More than 50% of all doctoral theses have been awarded this century, which is incredible. And most remarkable, I think, is that I think 65% of all doctoral theses are available online, openly available, either through Ethos or in universities' open access repositories. So 65% of 584,000 is 380,000 theses are openly available. And we're seeing increasing value, an increasing number of usage of individual theses, so individual researchers coming in using the theses that are listed in ethos, but also in recent years, a number of research projects that are using the corpus, either some of the full text corpus or in fact the metadata itself. So the full metadata set, including all of the relevant fields, truncated abstracts, some supervisor names, titles, years, universities who awarded the theses, is also available as its own data set through the British Library repository. And after I finish speaking, I'll post a link to the ethos data, the ethos service itself, but also the ethos metadata set that has massive value in its own right. So absolutely fantastic to be mentioned and to have shared the award for the first hidden ref composition, but delighted for all the universities that participate in ethos, and also of course all of the students and PhD researchers who've published their research over the years and made it available openly through university open access repositories in the UK. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And let's give the ethos team a wonderful virtual applause again. Unfortunately, it appears that Jamie Davis is unable to make it to give a reaction as the lead of the guide to pharmacology. If he comes in later, we'll try and patch him in. This feels like the Oscars with all of the different video links, but I'm now going to hand over again to James to take us on.
Thanks, Neil, and well-deserved winners of the Applications of Research Award. So going in order then, next up is the prize awarded by the Practices panel, which will be presented by Marcus Manufo from the UK Reproducibility Network.
Thanks, James, and thanks for inviting me to nominate or to announce the winners today. This is a great initiative, I think, and I was really pleased by all of the applications that we received and enjoyed the discussions that we had. The Practices panel is around training materials, courses, enabling access to facilities, standards, and what the submissions revealed was just how much exciting activity is going on in this space, some of which I was aware of, much of which I wasn't. I'd like to thank the panelists, Catherine Jones, Sarah Gibson, Chaz Nelson, Heather Packer, and Marion Weinziel. We had a really engaging conversation around exactly what the different strengths were of the different submissions that were made. And there are three commended initiatives that we would like to mention initially. So the first of those is FORT, the Framework for Open and Reproducible Research Training, which was nominated by Mahmoud El Sharif and Connor Keating. And this is a framework for supporting the teaching of open and reproducible research practices at an undergraduate level. And so that was one of our highly commended submissions. The other was Archer 2. Archer 2 is the UK's national supercomputing facility, and the materials that they have made available, the videos and the open source materials to facilitate use of that were also felt to be extremely strong. That was nominated by Juan Herrera. And then the final highly commended submission was the Turing Way, which was nominated by Emma Caroon. And the Turing Way, of course, is a well-established organization that supports reproducible, ethical, and collaborative data science. But the one that stood out for us, that was the winner of the Practices panel, the part of Hidden Ref, which was nominated by Sean Harris, was AuthorAid. And AuthorAid was particularly exciting because of the extent to which it provides support across the globe, particularly for low and middle income countries. It's a global network of researchers that helps researchers in a range of countries that may not have the same resources and facilities that exist in high income countries to develop and produce their research and have that recognized. So that felt like something that was really in the spirit of Hidden Ref as a community-led initiative supporting researchers globally. And so that was the winner of the Practices panel. And I believe Andy is on the call, Andy Nobes, who can receive the award. So Andy, I'll hand over to you to say a few words.
Okay, thanks very much. Wow. Thank you very much to the Hidden Ref Initiative for putting this whole thing together, and for obviously the panel for recognizing the impact of the author-aid research writing mix that we've been running for about 5 years. A lot of our work relies on volunteers, and we particularly like to thank the 30 or 40 or so volunteer guest facilitators that have helped our courses run. And these are from all over the world, not just in the UK and in the US, but a very international team spanning Africa, South Asia, Latin America, and the rest of the globe, who've done a fantastic job of keeping these online courses active and helping us run courses for thousands of people at a time in a MOOC, even though we only have a handful of staff in the UK and in India. And of course, I'd like to thank the 30,000 or so participants of the courses themselves from all over the world, from Bangladesh to Cambodia to Guatemala, Mexico, Nigeria, Somalia, Uganda, Vietnam, all over the world, who've joined the courses in recent years and actually made them such energetic and interactive courses for everybody, sharing great questions about research writing and proposal writing, and doing peer learning with the other participants, and even at times sharing pictures of the research that they're doing in their country, even during the pandemic. So these research writing MOOCs have been a launchpad for the participants in our course, not only to go and publish their research in high quality journals and to successfully apply for funding, but also to springboard their learning and to go on and help others. So they're becoming facilitators themselves on subsequent courses, or getting involved in mentoring, or becoming mentors themselves, or starting their own journal clubs that we've been starting in our initiative, or writing for our author-aid website. So it's really down to the participants of the courses for making them so successful. And so finally, I'd like to acknowledge my colleagues at author-aid and at INASP. So while the success is depending on this engagement worldwide, we have a very small dedicated team ensuring that the technology actually works, that can accommodate so many people, and that the participants from all over the world have registered and processed on the course, and the content continues to be relevant and pitched at the right level for a global audience to be able to communicate their research. And also thank you to CEDA and others who have funded this work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I think that's a great description of all of the reasons why the panel rated this particular submission so highly. So thank you again for that. So Patricia, James, I'll hand back to you. And again, thank you for inviting me to announce the winner.
Thank you, Marcus. Thank you to the practices panel for these excellent commendations, and congratulations to our winner in this category. We will now move on to our colleague Jude Fransman to introduce the award for the contexts category, which was chaired by Cameron Mylan from Curtin University. Jude?
Thank you, Patricia. And I just want to say what a pleasure it has been to advise the context panel, which brings together submissions with a focus on citizen science and community building. Now, unfortunately, it's almost midnight in Australia, where our panel chair, Cameron, is based. And we agreed that making him work at this time wouldn't exactly be in keeping with the spirit of the Hidden Ref. So instead, I'm going to hand over to my committee colleague, Andy Dixon, who will share some of Cameron's observations before announcing the winners. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks very much, Jude. Yeah, so the context panel saw a huge number of truly outstanding submissions, and whilst it may be conventional to say, but it was a real challenge to identify the small number of submissions that we needed to give awards to from such a diverse range. However, while we focused on work and initiatives that were hidden, one really strong point that emerged was how engagement and impact work is in fact visible indeed being supported. The submissions represent an exciting range of initiatives, including high quality engagement in many settings. So in trying to identify those small set of submissions for a particular celebration, the panel focused on work that was going above and beyond. We particularly looked for evidence of careful thinking of what success would look like and how that might be assessed, looking beyond the numbers of attendees at events or numbers of outputs, but what sort of change that the work had brought about. how was that change being tracked and reported, and had that change been made sustainable? With this in mind, we did struggle, but we got there in the end, and the consensus from the panel is as follows. Starting off with an honourable mention, and this is for work that made visible different approaches to economics in teaching and research, leading to changes in syllabi, policy and awareness. We award an honourable mention to reteaching economics. Moving then to the winners. So we have winners which represent two very different efforts. Firstly, we have from the British Library, LibCrowds, which is the framework delivering a citizen science platform supporting a wide range of research and providing a route towards making more materials digitally available. The second winner, and from the University of Edinburgh, the Edinburgh Racial Equality Network, working with partner groups at the university towards improved racial equity, an example of hidden, and in itself it is an example of hidden labour, which is seeking to address the hidden burden of structural inequities in our academic systems. Lastly, if we may, we wanted to make a special mention to a group of applications which didn't present themselves as a group, but when we considered them, it was clear that they were working in the same area. And this is really around research software engineers and their networks and initiatives. The Research Software Engineering Programme is a grassroots effort that has sought to make the particular work that specialists in research software engineering do more visible and more valuable in the academy. So we had a number of submissions from local RSE programmes in many universities, and together they showed the power of working together to celebrate and make visible the importance of hidden work in the academy. So the RSE effort as a whole is perhaps one of the best examples of what is possible when we work together in a concerted way to make less hidden the work that's pursued. And we just wanted to recognise that in our awards. So congratulations to all involved. Thank you again to the panel. And I believe now we have two of the representatives from the two winners on the call. So Mia Ridge and David Creighton offered, and handing first to Mia.
Hi, well, wow, thank you. And thank you to everyone who helped make the Hidden Ref Rewards a reality. It's been such a fantastic program and I just love the whole ethos. So I'm particularly thrilled about this. I'd also like to thank all the British Library staff who've contributed to the success of these projects, not only in terms of the work that they've done, but in terms of understanding how important it is for us to find ways for people who don't have the social or economic capital to come to our reading rooms in London or in Boston Spa, in understanding how we can help people connect to our digitized collections. So yeah, and most importantly, I want to thank the volunteers because it's their work that actually makes the program a success. Their work in transcribing and marking up digitized collections helps make them more accessible to future readers, to people doing data science and other forms of digital scholarship research, even at the level of the catalogue. But I think perhaps most importantly, their insights and their perspectives, the things that they find and the things they share about what they find as they look at these collections, makes them sort of more widely accessible, but also helps us and other people fall in love with the collections and understand the complex, diverse histories that they represent. They bring all kinds of things up to the surface that have lain there hidden on the sort of the microfilm and not previously viewed necessarily before. So thank you.
I think now we have David.
Yep, that's assuming me unmuting has worked. So I see lots of waving of hands and thumbs up, so that means you can hear me. So thank you very, very much. I was not the person who put in the original application. That was actually done by Emily, who is our former co-convener on the academic side. I sit on the professional services side of the Edinburgh Race Equality Network. And it's been 5 long years working together to get where we are, to slowly bring together academics and people across all the various disciplines within the university, trying to break down a lot of barriers we have and really building something quite special in terms of knowing each other, knowing that we can stand up for each other, how we can work together and sort of push for the types of changes that we want seen, and really sort of make something of ourselves and speak from our collective experience. So it's no longer people talking about us determining what happens to us, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So I wish I had like more sort of wonderful, thoughtful things to say, but I think the big one is mainly thanking Emily and the academic team and everything they've done to put in for awards like this and whatnot. It's such an honor. Thank you so much. And the one thing I will say as sort of my parting note is that what we've done should not be exemplary. It should not be unusual. It should not be something that, you know, we don't expect. Every organization should be able to do what we've done over the last 5 years. And this is something we really need to push for across academia as a whole. So thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Mia, for eloquent words from both of you, I think. And huge congrats to our winners. So we're already on to our last Hidden Ref award, which is for the category for which we had the most submissions, Hidden Role. And to introduce this category, please welcome our panel chair, James Cleaver from F1000, who will present highlights from the evaluation and announce the winner. So over to James.
Thank you. Yeah, the award for Hidden Role is assigned as a different category due to its focus on individuals rather than groups or initiatives or projects. The submissions illustrated the crucial roles that individuals play, fostering and maintaining high quality, valuable working cultures within research. For this reason, the panel believed that the Hidden Role category is vitally important in recognizing those individuals whose contributions are truly hidden and not formally recognised in the official ref. Many of the submissions demonstrated individuals who go beyond the normal constraints of their job criteria, and a good barometer for assessment was asking ourselves the question, if this person left, what would happen and what type of institutional or cultural memory would be lost? Psychosocial contributions were also important in deciding the winner, such as supporting well-being or fostering early career researchers or other vulnerable academic careers. We saw some parallels with the citizen science category in some of the submissions, and one particularly moving submission even caused some emotional reactions in the panel. We were delighted to receive 40 submissions for the panel's consideration, and many of these were excellent, which meant that the panel had a pretty daunting task in trying to identify one winner. And we also decided to award highly commended status to a further 5 submissions. So thank you to everyone who nominated somebody for the Hidden Role category, and congratulations to all of those who were the subject of a submission. We're really glad to recognise your hard work and the important contributions that you make to research. So our 5 highly commended submissions are Kevin Atkins, who's a site engineer at the Marine Biological Association, Dr. Sylvia Giampieri, Project and Clinical Research Manager at King's College London, Gregory Strachan, a technician at the Metabolic Research Labs at the University of Cambridge, Layla Whitworth, Head of Research Strategy and Funding Team at the University of Oxford, and finally, a group of 18 street children acting as lived experience contributors nominated by Lorraine Van Blurk. Congratulations to all of you on these richly deserved commendations. Our winner exhibited all the qualities the panel felt were crucial to the Hidden Role category of contributing to research culture, the training of others, demonstrating a great amount of expertise in their field, and regularly going above and beyond in their job role. And our winner is Taya Hopes, who's a research technician in the School of Molecular and Cellular Biology at the University of Leeds. So congratulations, Taya, and perhaps I can ask you to unmute and say a few words.
Thank you very much. Wasn't expecting that. Many thank you to my really lovely lab members. They're incredibly supportive, really special people, and I think that makes a big difference. I've been working as a research technician for the now Associate Professor Julie Aspden since she started her lab at Leeds. She's always been incredibly supportive and an absolute pleasure to work with, giving me so many opportunities to develop my skills. Yeah, I just think I'm really lucky to have such a diverse job. I get to train and solve with students, which is probably my favourite bit, seeing that smile on their face when something starts working, to provide equipment, expertise, and to do my own work and specialised ribosomes using fruit flies. And of course, thank you so much to the organisers. This is really heartwarming that you've put the time and effort into making an award like this. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you everybody for taking part. And I will just move that spotlight. So that's 5 panels in record time. I think we're a mere 10 minutes over our original plan. So I just wanted to say once again that the reason we ran this competition was to try and make the invisible visible and the important but unrecognized recognized. Congratulations to all of our winners today, and thank you to everyone who took part in the competition. We couldn't achieve our goals without showing that we're supported by the community, and that means it's you, the people who entered the competition, who must thank for the success of Hidden Ref. And of course, the success of Hidden Ref is very much tied into what happens next, and that's where I would like to quickly end. The award ceremony is certainly the high point of the competition, and it's been fantastic seeing all the winners and the highly commended people today, but it's certainly not the end of our campaign. We are already being invited to talk to policymakers about the methodologies we've developed and the new communities that we've discovered. We'll continue this work and also look to broaden it by working with some of the new communities to understand how we can support them and help them grow. I hope that this will lead to the creation of new roles and job families within academia and research in general, which is the kind of support that these hidden roles certainly need. And importantly, I think an understanding of how to assess the impact of novel research outputs and hidden research roles is part of our ultimate goal, and getting that information out across academia and across research is really our key aim. So if you would like to be part of that additional work, the work that's coming over the next couple of years, then please do get in touch, because this is a volunteer-led and grassroots campaign. We need to hear from everybody who's involved in it. Of course, it's an ongoing process as well. So to collect more information and to grow support and awareness, and importantly, to give recognition to other people who are currently unrecognized, we will be running this competition regularly. Currently, the idea is to run it every 2 years. So I hope to see you all again in 2023. And then to end, I would just like to say a final thank you to everyone who supported the Hidden Ref, from the committee members to the supporters to the panelists, and of course, everyone who got involved. With this level of support, we will be able to campaign for a better and broader recognition of research success. So thank you. With that, I'll bring the ceremony to an end.